Everybody can just, they release the bots so they can just keep it going. And
did you know?
I am happy that
did you have an inkling before you went to Riyadh? Did you or the other comedians have any sense that there'd be this kind of response when you got back?
No, I had no fucking idea. Because what was funny? One time I did Abu Dhabi. And one person texts me, oh, you're going over there to get that blood money, right? And I go, hey, just for the record, I'm also doing London, England on that tour, which is arguably the bloodiest fucking money out there. So there's like that element of racism to it where if brown people are doing it, it's fucked up. If white people are doing it, what are you talking about? Almost like sports. So, yeah, my team doesn't cheat. Your fucking team cheats. So
that's the thing too. Like like that, you can say that about every other government, and he's trying to deflect that, right? Because it's a hard thing to pretty much nail him down on, because he's gonna try to deflect shit. He's gonna try to deflect to a different point. He's like, well, everybody has blood money now. Everybody gets blood money. Well, why can't I not get blood money anymore? It's just like, dude, just stop deflecting and just be like, you know what? I just took the money because I just want money. That's it. Just say that.
I mean, if we're going to do the blood money game, I think the only countries I've ever played in that is clean money was New Zealand and I think Iceland. But then Iceland is weird, where over there they have an app, a dating app that doesn't say, if you're related, it's how. Because they're all part of the same thing over there. I'm straight.
Wait, that's not a joke.
That's not a joke. It's fucking true.
Yeah.
Look at you guys. Oh, now he's going after Iceland. Now I'm really upset with that place. I don't really quite know where it is next to England. Is that it? No, that's Ireland. That's Isle of Man. That's fucking Iceland. So, no, I'm part of I don't give a fuck what all these phony fucking people are saying. My thing is I go out to perform in front of fucking people, and as I've been traveling the world, I want to see more of it. And the thing that I loved about going to these Arab countries is that their sense of humor, they're silly. They're really silly. And I'm a silly person.
So it's wild. He mocks the audience there for being too sensitive, and then talks about how the Saudis have a great sense of humor, even though there's clearly a lot of topics he would never joke about over there, and not even joke about here, because he wants to continue going over there. And it's funny because I'm sure them inbreeding is probably one of those topics. So if Bill really wants to prove that they have a great sense of humor, let's see him make fun of them for inbreeding next time he's over there. And then also...
Absolutely right. He's not going to bring that part up, right? A great way to deflect that, right? Because now his fans, or whoever's left over of his fans, are going to be like, Bill, did you know that Saudi Arabia also does inbreeding, or used to do inbreeding? Or I don't know. The practice of it still exists there. Who knows, right? Over there. And then when you talk about Iceland, it's like, it's a freaking island, bro. And they're also trying to fix it, right? Like they have an app for it because they know it's a problem, and they're trying to fix that.
Also, of course, Bill tries to spin this like he just loves traveling and going to new places and experiencing new cultures and meeting new people, and that's the reason he did it. It had nothing to do with the all expenses paid trip and $1.5 million he was getting when he went there. And he even said the people that didn't go, I think he might be referring to the comedians that turned it down, or maybe just people in general, but he said if you don't want to go there, you didn't go there, then you're an asshole.
I'm a silly person, and like Anchorman type of shit, but they don't fucking show that over here. So it's kind of fun to get a worldview by going a little more of an informed worldview than if you sit on your couch and let some talking head, then you just think it's machine guns and people saying all of that stuff, and it's like, I don't know. It was a really I was buzzing after the show. That's what a good time it was. And all of these fucking assholes that didn't go and never will go, all they're ever gonna see is the machine guns, and if that's how you want to live, that's how you want to live. I really don't give a fuck, Conan. And if it affects my career, I've been to LAX enough in my life. I'll fucking sit home for a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess if you don't take Saudi blood money from the crown prince, then you're just an uncultured asshole.
Yeah, it's clear that Bill has no morals anymore. I want money now. I forget the morals. I want money. Forget the bots. He called people that have an opinion or comments about this situation are bots, right? I never heard of a bot really, talking really human-like about certain things and explain why it's a bad thing. And these people like that he says that are talking shit about it. It's like, dude, yeah, you're gonna beef with Shane Gillis and you're gonna beef with Mark Maron now, because those are the ones that make a pretty good point about the context of this whole situation, right? Which is bad, and then like it just to like for Bill's sake, just say, you know what, the money was too powerful and I just took it. Fuck morals and everything else. I want the money, and that's it. We'll all be more satisfied with that explanation.
So I think this is when some of the audience started walking out, because, I mean, who wants to listen to this? Like, he's just insulting the audience. And this was a theater in LA, so I'm sure most of the people there were liberals and probably used to like Bill. Like, this person who's on Reddit said they always liked him and thought he was a smart guy. But then they went to this and realized he was completely out of touch. Like they said, he went on a bizarre rant about how he did such an incredible act of good by doing this festival, and that anyone upset at him is a moron who doesn't know where Saudi Arabia is on a map, and must think everyone there is a machete-wielding, people-beheading psychopath because they've never actually been to the country like he has. We couldn't believe how self-righteous he was about it all, talking about how because he went and performed comedy there, he helped advance the people over there to be closer to where we're at. So even a crowd in LA thought
it's like some of the shit that Joe Rogan will say. He's like, we are the philosophers of this modern day world. We shift the dynamic of this world. And that's something that George Carlin would make fun of. It's like, you think you're like changing the world or what? Like, what do you mean by that? We're fucking clowns. We're gestures. We're court gestures, man. And now you are a court gesture in the most literal sense, right? Stop taking yourself seriously. You're gonna change like the fucking dynamic of this whole country just because you said a couple of jokes.
Bill was being too self-righteous. That's pretty bad. And after he gets done explaining how he helped Saudi Arabia progress, he probably felt people kind of turning on him. So then he started going off about the U.S. government and ICE deportations, and he got people back on his side. But it was interesting because at first it seemed like people were kind of conflicted about cheering for him. Like usually when he says something like this, the whole crowd erupts. But at first it seemed like people didn't really know how to react to this.
What was so great about it was the people there. You could feel it, like they needed it, they wanted it, and they wanted you to push. And that's what the comics did. And your job was to just, okay, we've gotten them to here, now you can move them to there. And it's like, as much as people don't like what's going on over there, it's like they're not going to progress with isolation. So if you go over there and you just sort of like move them a little bit towards us, I don't know. I feel like we're moving towards them in a lot of ways over here, Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ, we're fucking putting...
You hear that reaction, guys? Did you hear that reaction? Of everybody was like, really? The major sell for Bill was all the restaurants. Man, they got a Panda Express over here now. There must be like us now. Oh man, they have iPhones and they have all this stuff that they have in the U.S. Man, they want to be like us, and these are little steps. Comedy is like a little, it's a little it's like progression to like make Saudi Arabia more free. Maybe you're right, Bill. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe you're the one that's gonna change the whole world in that part of the world of Saudi Arabia where they're like, you know what? The world's gonna think to themselves like, you know what, man? Fuck it. Make fun of me. Do some self-deprecate. Make fun of me. Roast me. The roast of one of the royals or whatever. I don't know. If this is what he's trying to say, and he thinks he's gonna accomplish that, I guess it's a noble act for you, bro. But while taking all that money, it's like, okay, they really wanted you there because, who knows?
Having moms and dads and sticking them in a van for making illegally made fucking tacos to go to Alligator Alcatraz. Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's insane, and someday they're going to be out of brown people to put in those vans. They're still going to have the vans, so you shouldn't be feeling comfortable about it, thinking that you're not going to be in it. Yeah, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. So
once Bill got done trying to prove how righteous he is for performing in Saudi Arabia and speaking out about ICE, then he said the people criticizing him are the ones trying to virtue signal, and they're being performative, because Conan mentions how Bill's been getting the most shit for this because of how famous he is. And people are annoyed with Conan too for not pushing back. Like, the real reason Bill's getting so much shit for this is because of how hypocritical he is, and people.
But the reason why Conan is not pushing as much is because Conan, I think, is a legit friend of Bill, and he doesn't want for Bill to get a lot of that shit, right? So he's like kind of generally saying things because at the end of the day, it's his friend, and you're gonna go a little soft on your friends, right? This tends to happen, and for the most part, for at least Conan is saying like you probably like the most prominent one, and maybe like also like Dave Chappelle too was another very famous one that got a lot of shit for it. Is like you, and that you're basically the guy that always talks a lot of shit about any kind of like political issue or a cultural issue, and you're usually on the right side of things. But then this side, or maybe you're also like a little too edgy on saying certain things, but this time there's no really a lot of edginess when you're talking about Saudi Arabia, and it's more of a positive thing for you, and it's a little suspect.
People actually expected better from him, because he's the one that spent the past year talking about how bad wealth inequality is and how bad billionaires are and how they need to be put down like rabid dogs, only to take money from one of the most oppressive regimes and turn a blind eye to slave labor. But if you point that out, apparently you're the one being performative.
Have you talked to the other comics that you went over there with and compared notes on the reaction since you got back?
Yeah, we all had like a great time over there, and then everybody else is just going like, dude, what the fuck? Like,
you know what I love? That a bunch of people went over, but because of your success, you're one of the main names that gets mentioned over and over again. So congratulations.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean...
That's a dig from Conan right there, that's for sure.
I haven't literally watched any of it, or I don't care about all of that performative shit, and it's like if someone actually wanted to have a real conversation and stuff like that, I mean, I could get all the way into like as far, as like a performer, one of my favorite things is this.
Yeah, so I guess Bill's critics were just being too performative. Like, I really thought he was just going over to Saudi Arabia for the money. I didn't realize it was really like a humanitarian effort, so I got it all wrong. Bill really truly is a man of the people. But let me know what you guys think.
All right, so let me end this off, guys. Let me give you my final thoughts. Like obviously from what I've said before and in this video, it's like Bill Burr, he doesn't know how to really defend this, and all of his talking points now are just to deflect from what's actually happening or has happened, and all the things that were bad or are still bad about this part of the region, is to just say that, well, if you think they're so bad, well, look at everywhere else in the world, they're also bad too. Am I gonna stop going there too because of certain things that happen? No. Like, everybody does some weird shit.